At this time, we want to welcome to the microphone a visionary, a true pioneer, an astute leader that exudes confidence and charm and charisma. He is none other than the dynamic co-founder and managing director of Smart Mobile Solutions and my co-host this evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dane Spencer. He's going to be sharing the amazing SMS story and journey with us and a deeper insight with his team a little bit later on. So I will be doing some of the work, and Dane will be doing some more of the work on top of what he's been doing already. So have a seat, Dane. Let me have a quick conversation with you. We're excited to learn more about SMS and the awesome journey of the company. So if you can humor me just a little bit, before he begins his co-host duties, he has to have interviewee duties. So I'm going to put on my other hat. Mr. Spencer, how did the idea of Smart Mobile Solutions come about?
Smart Mobile Solutions wasn't really an idea, It was actually a reaction to a circumstance that myself and Marlon were in. So at that point in time, we were working for Super Plus food stores, and we had a challenge that we had to fix as IT professionals, and that was to actually get protection for some very expensive BlackBerry devices that we acquired. That was our assignment. So we found it was a challenge. So we actually scoured the internet, went all around the place trying to procure these accessories. And then, of course, we got an aha moment, and Marlon discovered some very attractive accessories that were not readily available on the market. And we got them, and we said, all right, we just get a pat on the back and we'd move forward. Now, after we got these accessories, we had a lot of people coming back and saying, where do we get these? Where do we get these? And there was just a constant flow and demand that we had to, we ordered another batch and ordered another batch. And before you knew it, we had to be walking with duffel bags full of accessories. And then when the car trunk and the duffel bag couldn't work anymore, we actually now had to move into, Marlon just said, well, listen, this is the time. I think we need to put this together formally and approach this in a different way. And we actually started at that point, structured the company, and we got a small space because we couldn't operate out of the trunk anymore. And it was about 70 square feet. I'll never forget it. But we took all of what we had and put it together, along with two other businesses that we had. And we said, this is how we're going to branch out from Super Plus. And that was where we started.
So how did you move from accessories to software?
So we were BlackBerry. So BlackBerry was our partner. At that point, we were doing very well with the accessories. We wanted to expand. We joined the BlackBerry Alliance. The BlackBerry Alliance brought us to a show in Orlando called the WES. At that point, it was a Wireless Enterprise Symposium. And at that symposium, we were introduced to our BDM, which was Valerie Powell. Now, Valerie coached me, and she was explaining to me, based on your background, you shouldn't just be selling accessories. You guys need to be building apps. I was like, I'm not going code anymore. I'm not doing that again. But at that point, upon more coercion and being exposed to all of the technologies that were there, all of the things that we were able to do with BlackBerries now, converting them into PCs, integrating them, making them into point of sales, all of that stuff just started to marvel me and amaze me. And I came back with a bunch of brochures and showed Marlon, and Marlon pushed it aside and said, boy, it's you that. Ah. But we kind of, at that point now, we got brainstormed some ideas, and we came up with a novel platform called Broadax, which was a tracking platform. It converted your BlackBerry into a BlackBerry panic button, and that became your transponder, which would give you a GPS location, and that would now allow you to, Hawkeye or anybody could just come to your rescue. So we spent months and developed it, and we thought this was going to be the pioneer product, because at that time, BlackBerry was king, so there could be nothing else. So we started to build. We took on one of our colleagues that was a developer, and we kind of just fleshed it out and worked it end to end, and we built this dichotomy of software tools that was a back end, and that was with the mapping integrated with GPS. Everything was there, and of course we coded out the BlackBerry app, and we brought it to different security companies, and one of them took it up and branded it as their own. And that was the beginning. And then after that, that was like that was our premier product. And we carried it across the Caribbean. BlackBerry took us all around the Caribbean, showcasing it, as well as they brought more and more business to us. So we built a lot of apps for BlackBerry at the time. And then we moved into cross-platform, and that was just the beginning of the journey.
That has been an amazing journey. You want to tell us some more of the milestones along that journey?
Well, one of my favorite customers is still one of my customers today, and that would have been Advantage General. So Advantage General was one of those customers that we did a BlackBerry app for, and we kind of started with the BlackBerry app, and we kind of expanded the portfolio into the cross-platform, and we started to just do a lot more with them. When they were acquired by NCB, then they kind of acquired our services as well, and we started to do what was a transformational journey, which would have been now us starting the digital labs at NCB. Now, that was a big thing for us. I mean, a small company being integrated like this, and we grew like wildfire. Within 2 to 3 years, we had almost 20 developers in NCB. Were being sought after by multiple companies. We actually had that was one of the key milestones for me in terms of the development side of the business, and at that point now we're actually bubbling, and but similarly at the same time, because we had these developers in parallel, we were working on phone insurance product, and that is now what we call SmartProtect, and we partnered with Grace to build that in 2014. And today it's strong, and the platform continues, and it is also internally built.
All right, I'm hearing some names. Of course, BlackBerry, RIM. We've heard Advantage General. We've heard NCB. And who are some of your other partners?
So the journey continues, because subsequent to that, in the commodities game, we were doing very well in terms of distribution of handsets, and we've met up with Samsung, and I think it was like probably about 2018, 2019, and we were talking, and then we got a big project that allowed for us to partner even more. So Samsung became our premier partner at that time in 2019, and we had our first project. I remember at that time Jose was there, so we worked on a project, and we got this big project in St. Vincent, because it wasn't even a local project. And we landed a big deal. I think it was like 14,000 that moved into almost 20 or 30,000 tablets. It was a milestone again in our career. But that in itself was something that kind of changed the game for us, and kind of ramped us up to another level.
You're telling us all the good things. Were there low points? Was there any part that you thought, I can't do this, it's too much work, it's too hard?
Definitely. In 2014, we actually we had to remodel the business. So at that point now, we were pretty much only in a retail space. We had expanded. We had retail footprints across Jamaica. I think it's in Montego Bay, Mandeville, and Kingston, and we had expanded too fast. We went rapidly, and we were very gung-ho, and we had a relationship in place that fell apart in terms of the rent relationship kind of broke down, and that kind of changed the whole scope of how we had to do things. So we had to reshape, remodel, do everything differently. At that point, it was probably the lowest moment, because I thought I failed. And I remember sitting down with Marlon and saying, boy, I can't believe I let you down. Sorry about that. And then him said, let me down? No, it's we do this. And if we have a transition, and we're going to move on, and we're going to carry it to the next level, we just find a way. We just need to pivot. So we sat down, work it out, and we kind of figured out what our sweet spot was, which was really business to business.
So tell me about the sweet spot for you. I heard a sweet spot for the company, but what has been the most fulfilling part of all of this for you?
So, I mean, I'm a little selfish. Let me explain. Giving back is something that is self-fulfilling for me. So anytime we're able to give back to a school or to give back to children or just helping someone along the way, it warms my heart. So that's the selfish part of me. So the ability to, and every part of the journey that we've been able to give back. And I remember early part of the game when Marlon used to drive us to say, remember, any little money we make, we must give back a piece somewhere. So we started that from the beginning, and then we kind of picked it back up when right after the reshuffle and the reframing of the business, and then we continued the journey where we were able to give back tablets. We were able to set up. There was a computer lab that was set up at Gregory Park Primary that was most fulfilling because it had the significance was that my father-in-law had actually originally set up that computer lab. So then I went and I gave it a refresh. So it was it's almost like it was symbolic, like we kind of continuing the journey.
And continuing the legacy. Hold on, let me wipe a tear. Just a little. Let's get back to business now. So it sounds great. It's been profitable for you, but here I am with my business. Why should I choose SMS?
So based on the journey and how we've structured and all of what we do, we really partner for mutual benefit. So whenever we're working with a company, we're trying to help them to succeed. So at the end of the day, what we really try to drive for is your success. So we put things together to ensure that we drive your success. So whether it be we put together or we leverage our partnerships, our career relationships. The 15 years that we've been doing this actually has taught us a lot. You can hear the journey, gives us different turns that allow us to be a stronger company. And but most importantly, to me, the philosophy is just to deliver better products, better services consistently that will allow for our partners to succeed.
And what are those better products and services? What can we look forward to from SMS?
So at this point, we're talking about the commodities. We have the commodities, we have the software studio, we have the technical services. These are the three divisions. What we're basically always doing is to join and introduce more partners into our network. So Samsung is probably one of our strongest partners. We do have other partners, but the fact is that when you work with an SMS, the objective is to give you a 360 view, which is part of the reason why we're here, to kind of highlight that we have not only the commodities, but the ability to implement these commodities and manage them for you, as well as give you different innovative software solutions that can drive your business.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was truly an inspiring story, and it deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Dane, for sharing that evolution with us. We look forward to seeing what else there is to come and to learning more from you and your team members as we move through. But you're going to have to help me with that part. Co-host duties after this. No problem. All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by the first of our special guests to come up and bring greetings at this time. He's a Jamaican politician, a businessman, university lecturer, past Minister of State for Tourism and Entertainment, and currently opposition senator. As an entrepreneur and businessman, he is the managing director of Crafton Holdings, manufacturer and distributor of super fresh liquid eggs. Help me welcome Damian Crawford.